If you're a teenager with Pectus Excavatum, there are some clear steps that we can take for you to start treating it. So the first step is to talk to your parents, okay? It's very important you talk to your parents and you fill them in that you're dealing with this problem. A lot of people bottle up the problem inside themselves. They don't even tell someone that it's affecting them. You know, the parent's probably aware that the kid has a sunken chest, but you know, a lot of times the parent isn't aware how much it's mentally affecting the kid. And for most people with Pectus, the biggest impact that it has is the mental impact, how it makes you feel about yourself and your body image and your confidence in yourself. You know, for me, that's how it impacted me. Was I hated the way I looked. I felt very insecure, and it really got me down. It's very important you talk to your parents because they're going to be your support network if you're a teenager, okay? So talk to your parents, fill them in with how it's affecting you. The next step is you then go and see your local doctor. Now, some local doctors will just have no idea about Pectus and give you very basic advice, but you still need to go see a doctor, okay? Some are great as well. Hopefully they assess your Pectus, tell them your symptoms. Pectus can affect you just cosmetically, just mentally, psychologically, not like in the way you look. But Pectus can also displace your heart and lungs, and it can create a health concern. So it is worth getting it checked out, getting it assessed, and potentially doing tests, doing a CT scan, getting your Hauler index, testing your heart and lung function, and just making sure that you're healthy. Based on your Hauler index or your CT scan or what the doctor says, you can then go down different routes because there are different ways to treat Pectus dependent on the severity, okay? So most cases of Pectus are on the milder side, like myself, like a lot of my clients. And if you have a milder case of Pectus that's purely cosmetic and it's just affecting you psychologically, then the main way I'd recommend to treat that, granted I'm biased because I'm a personal trainer, it's how I treat it, and I have a business coaching people, but I'm passionate about it because it works and it's very good to avoid surgery if you can. The main way I'd recommend you treat that is through exercise and a training program to build muscle, to not fill in the chest. You're still gonna have the sunken chest, but you're gonna be able to make it unnoticeable or a lot less noticeable, the least noticeable that you possibly can, by building a very impressive physique and building your pecs and building abs and obliques over the rib flare and improving your posture. So that's what I would recommend if you go get it checked out and you determine that your case of Pectus is just cosmetic and just affecting you psychologically. Now, on the contrast, if you have a severe case of Pectus and it's deemed that it is actually creating a health concern, it's really displacing your heart or your lungs. If you have a case that's that severe, then surgery really, it's the one thing that's actually going to change your bone structure. You know, so it's a great thing for people with a more severe case of Pectus. I just think it's pushed sometimes too hard when people don't need it. But I'm not anti-surgery at all. I think it's amazing for some people. So hence why we're going to get that scan and then you can get that checked out. There's two main surgeries. There's the NUS procedure or the Ravage procedure. I would highly recommend avoiding the Ravage procedure if you can. I know in Ireland, that's like the main surgery they still do. And the amount of horror stories I've seen from the Ravage procedure, I've met so many, thousands of people with Pectus over the last 10 years. And the Ravage procedure success rate is a lot less. And it seems very painful, having personally spoke to people, okay? The NUS procedure has a pretty good success rate. And it's getting better in terms of the pain management and things. But it's still a very intensive surgery and you don't want to take it lightly. You want to really consider it and consider all your options before diving into it. But if your Pectus is really getting you down or it's quite severe, creating a health concern, then it's definitely worth considering and potentially doing. Obviously consult with your doctor and get medical advice. The thing with Pectus is you're probably still going to have the posture, you're probably still going to be skinny, you're probably still going to have the rib flare. So I actually still coach a lot of people post-surgery to help them build a body that they're confident in and address the other elements of Pectus and address the body confidence issues. Like Jake, for example, he's a successful client that has worked with me post-surgery and now he's so happy and loving his body. Now, there is a middle ground. There is Pectus that maybe not, that is still just cosmetic, but is still quite deep. So you've got your moderate cases of Pectus, okay? Now, if that is you, you know, you can weigh up your options. You've got options to do surgery for the cosmetic side. However, it may not be covered under healthcare depending on how severe it is, and surgery can be quite expensive if it's not covered under healthcare. Obviously, you should probably be doing training, building muscle. You know, what I like to say to my clients is it's not just about improving Pectus, but working out. It's going to make you fit, strong, faster, healthier, like all these added benefits. So why not work out and tailor it a bit towards Pectus to get two birds with one stone. You should be working out for sure. You can potentially implement the vacuum belt. Even mild case could do that if you're a teenager or more so like a younger teenager. So I'd say 16 and below, because you really want a couple years of still being growing, because all the studies seem to show that the vacuum belt, to make a permanent change and a significant change, you need to still be growing. The vacuum belt is a device that you put on your chest, and then you apply suction, and it will stick to your chest and it pulls your chest out. And over time, over use, the theory is that it will lift your chest and actually change your bone structure. Now, it's not something I'm that rehearsed in. I'm a personal trainer. I've just seen clients use it and get a really good result. However, from my experience, it's the children that use it that actually get a permanent change. If you're an adult, it almost operates as a Band-Aid, and then that lift goes back down. So you have to continue its use. If you use it consistently for like a year or 2 years as an adult, you'll probably find that you keep the lift for longer, but it still goes down over time. Whereas with a child, and studies do support this, that it can really make a permanent change. So consult with your doctor about the vacuum belt. It is a medical device, so you do want doctor's approval. Pectus Healing are a company that sell them online. They have an onboard doctor. They're doing good in terms of making sure it's sized properly for the client. So I've got a link in the description that you can buy one from them. But again, make sure you have medical approval, make sure you get it sized. You do not want one that's the wrong size. It can create things like gynecomastia if it's touching the nipples. It actually happened to me when I was experimenting with it. Now, my transformation is not with the vacuum belt at all. I just experimented with it a couple of years ago to see what it felt like for my clients. I only used it for a couple of weeks before. I actually didn't like the way it made me look, because I think my mild pectus actually makes my pecs look more 3D and makes my physique look better. So mild pectus can sometimes be a good thing once you develop your physique, guys. But anyway, guys, that is my take-home points about how to treat pectus. There's lots of different avenues. The first steps, if you're a teenager, is talking to your parents. And then the next step is going and seeing a medical professional, going and seeing your doctor, and then taking the appropriate steps from there. If you have a mild or moderate case and it's just affecting you primarily cosmetically and psychologically, and so you want to build muscle to make it look less noticeable, you should book a strategy call with me so I can meet you, determine the plan that's going to be best for you, and create a workout program for you, and stretching routine and nutrition to help you build muscle and transform your pectus, like I have hundreds of other clients. So that'll be linked in the description at fixpectus.com to book a call with me and meet me.